New haircut.
Yeah, totally.
New setting.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Want to talk about a movie?
Yeah.
What's the movie we can talk about, though? We've already talked about a lot. What can we talk about now?
Why don't we talk about Evil Dead 2?
Yeah.
Okay, Evil Dead time.
Alright, what can we know about it then?
Alright, it's a sequel to Evil Dead 1, so that's a good start.
Yeah.
Is it a sequel? Because I was
It's more of a quasi-remake.
It's like a semi-remake. Like, the first few half of the movie, it's just kind of like a shot-for-shot remake, almost.
Yeah.
Yes, but more professionally compared to the original.
Well, this was like how many years since the first one, almost?
Well, being as Evil Dead 1 comes out in 81,
Yeah.
if I'm correct.
Wow.
So it came out in 87, 88, so
That was like a few years after that.
yeah. Well, he started off doing Crime Wave,
Oh, really?
which wasn't really the best movie from what I've heard.
Yeah, you gotta start somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Yes. But then he went back and did Evil Dead 2.
Which got people more interested in the stuff again.
And then after that we got Army of Darkness, and then we got that remake that I personally like, and then Ash vs. Evil Dead, and Evil Dead Now, which is supposed to come
Sooner.
next year.
Oh, next year. All right.
Basically, Evil Dead has a big franchise.
And this movie, in a way, cemented that franchise in a way.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
everybody likes the first one for it being like a pure horror film, but people like the sequel a lot better because it's the perfect combination of comedy and horror at the same time.
A lot of people also liked a lot of people liked the Army of Darkness more than the first Evil Dead 2 movies. And that's fine, you know? I mean,
Well, at that point, it was like a straight up comedy, so yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Like, no doubt about it. It was straight up comedy, pretty much.
But
Yeah.
what else has Evil Dead spawned into other than sequels and TV?
Let's see, there was that playing video game they were gonna do, I remember.
They did there's a lot of video games based on Evil Dead. There's Hail to the King from PlayStation 1. There's Fistful of Boomstick, which was a sequel to Hail to the King, but it came out in Xbox and PlayStation 2, if I'm correct. And then in 2006, 2007, that's when Evil Dead Resurrection came out, which actually acts more as a what-if sequel. And hell, it even had a board game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I remember Justin told us about a board game, right?
Mm-hmm.
What did he say? It was about the fact that it was made from the wood from the cabin or something like that? Was that the thing, Just? That was the thing?
No, that was the first version.
That was the first
Second version wasn't.
Oh, really?
First version ripped off so many people.
Oh. Commerce, man. What can you do about it?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I remember there wasn't an NES version of Evil Dead 2 or something?
Not that I can think of, but
I'm pretty sure there was at one point because the NES was notorious for having those movie tie-in games. The
Oh,
ones
yeah.
that really sucked and everything.
Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street,
all
those games.
Those ones.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, for some reason, Ash is fighting a raptor. I'm like, man, I didn't know Jurassic Park was in this.
I don't remember Evil Dead game for the NES or the Super Nintendo, unless you're talking about Splatterhouse, which was influenced by Evil Dead, especially Splatterhouse 2.
It seemed to be based on a lot of 80s horror films, though, so yeah.
But anyways, back on to Evil Dead 2.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we all know what the plot of Evil Dead 2 is.
Oh,
really.
yeah, obviously.
So let's not beat that over the head to...
Have you ever heard the Cabin in the Woods story? It's basically that, but on steroids, pretty much.
It's like a more gorier version of a Looney Tunes short.
You know what the gore kind of reminds me of, actually?
What?
It kind of reminds me, did you guys ever see Brain Dead by Peter Jackson?
No.
Oh yeah.
Well-
Brain Dead was made after Evil Dead 2.
Really?
Yes.
I can see, because Peter Jackson did say that Sam Raimi was a huge influence on his work, actually.
I can imagine.
And I can see that. I would just love to see a crossover with Ash and Lionel. It's like, hey, party's over. Pretty much.
Yeah.
I love that movie, man. That's my favorite. And speaking of which, let's get to the main man himself in this movie also.
Ash.
Ash.
Played by the Chin himself, Bruce Campbell.
And by this point, I think Bruce really found like his footing as an actor pretty much.
Yeah.
Like in the first one, let's be honest, the acting wasn't the best in that movie sometimes.
Yeah, and
It
I
was
think
very stiff sometimes, kind of emotionless.
Mm-hmm.
well, also like in the first one, you didn't really know who was gonna be like the last man standing, so to speak.
Although it's pretty safe to assume that'd be Ash since he's best friends with the director.
Yeah.
But I like Ash more in this one because in this one he's got a lot more charisma going on.
More personality than in Evil Dead 1.
Because in
Yeah.
this one, you know, he's the Ash that all the fans know and love pretty much. The wisecracks, the chainsaw arm, the shotgun, everything, you know?
Yeah.
The boomstick.
Whatever
and
you-
the one-liners.
Oh, the one-liners, I love them.
Well, swallow your soul! Swallow your soul!
Swallow this.
Wow.
Interesting fact, you know who did the voice of that Deadite, the mom Deadite?
Wasn't that
Ted Raimi.
That's
Yeah.
Ted Raimi, that's Sam's brother.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that at first, and according to Ted, wearing that suit was hell, apparently.
Yeah, and if
But
you
it worked.
yeah, and if you look in like some part of the scene where
He's sort of flying around.
flying around.
actually... Oh, wait, you
You were gonna say?
Oh, I was gonna say, in part of the scene where he's flying around and he's got the girl by like the hair and he turns his head sideways, there's sweat leaking out of the ear.
There was so much sweat in that suit, he said they had to take his prosthetic feet off so they could just pour it out into buckets and stuff.
Yeah, it was so gross.
Hey, but it worked in the favor of the movie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
that's
you
true.
you think, oh, this thing's it's like leaking, it's fluids, it's so
Ugh,
ugly, you know,
yeah.
that kind of thing.
We actually met Ted Raimi.
Oh, you guys met Ted?
Yeah, we all did. At
Uh,
Niagara Falls Comic Con last year.
We didn't get the chance to meet Ted. We couldn't get that, but
We got-
We did meet Bruce.
We met Bruce.
Yeah, we all met Bruce and
Bruce is awesome, man.
Yeah.
I love
When-
Bruce so much.
when Justin asked him about the Within the Woods and a VHS tape, like, what did he say about Within the Woods, Justin?
I can't remember.
He can't remember.
But it was like bootleg copies of it. But he is a ball buster.
Nah, that's what we love about him, man. He's constantly busting your balls about that. Do you know what I like about Bruce when I talk to him, actually?
What?
He loves our last name.
Yeah.
McClelland, Campbell, very Scottish names.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and since we can only pay to get like one signature, I got the signature. I should have brought it with me, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we can add it in.
Yeah.
What
How
do
do
you-
you
Oh, hello.
how do you guys feel? Oh, we got some pussy in here.
What were you gonna say?
How do you guys feel about the gags in the movie?
With the gags in the film?
Yes, the horror
Well-
gags.
You know some of those films that try too hard with the comedy?
Mm-hmm.
You've probably seen a few.
Yes, I have. And
You've seen those Aaron Salter films? Or those Salter and Freeberg films?
yes.
You see, that's a gag done wrong.
Mhm.
They don't add comedy to it. Comedy, I feel, is kind of like a rhythm or a beat.
It's like a horror movie. It's like a. It has the same like beats as a horror movie, but like with the
It's-
same tension.
It's the tension, except at the end you don't scream, you laugh.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically build up, setting, build up, rising action, climax. That's entertainment.
Yep.
And in that case, it makes sense for this film because the Deadites are trying to make Ash crazy and all that, so it makes sense that everything would be weird and all that.
Especially the laughing deer.
Oh my god.
I love
yeah.
the fact that the laughing deer was like a little kid or something actually,
Yeah.
and that was his laugh, and Sam Raimi loved it so much he didn't do much to it to make it creepier. And it works because I gotta say that laughing deer haunted me for years afterwards. Something that was kind of a weak spot in the film.
What's
Yeah.
that?
Some of the other characters are
Oh
not
yeah.
too memorable.
They-
to us.
Yeah, I don't think they're that important.
They're just there to get killed off, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
I did kind of like the redneck couple though, with that redneck guy and his wife Bobby Joe.
That was his girlfriend, I thought.
I thought it was his wife,
Mhm.
or was it his sister?
Yep.
They are rednecks.
They could be siblings or cousins.
Yeah, not my cousin, fucker.
Juliet, I love you. Get on. I love you, and you're my cousin. Get on down here. during the editing, we gotta add that clip from Whose Line Is It Anyway of the
Yeah.
rednecks Shakespeare.
Yeah, we can do that probably. And speaking of which, another impressive thing I remember in this film is the effects in this film.
Yeah.
I love the first film, but you gotta admit, some of the effects have not aged well.
No, they have not.
I mean, you can tell when the makeup stops pretty much.
There's actually a tube where there's blood
Yeah.
squirting
You
out.
can see that. It doesn't look too good. But the effects in this one seem to have gotten a bit of an upgrade, actually.
Yes.
Especially the deadites. They actually look more demonic in a way, actually.
Especially the way they use like stop motion. I mean, the stop motion in the first one was cool, but it's a little too rough.
It's a bit hokey, right?
But in the Evil Dead 2, it reminds me a lot of the stop motion from. You ever seen the movie The Gate?
I didn't see that, no. That's like Canadian film, right?
Yes. Like seeing the stop motion, like go motion stuff for the monsters in The Gate. I saw that in Evil Dead 2.
I was gonna say, it kind of reminded me of, Nightmare on Elm Street, right?
I haven't seen
No, I mean, not Nightmare on Elm Street. A Nightmare Before Christmas, that's what I meant.
Nightmare Before
Yeah.
Christmas.
It's kind of got that same feel to it.
that. Yeah,
It's like
especially.
Asian.
Yeah,
Ray
especially.
Harryhausen-esque.
Yeah, especially the scene with like his dead girlfriend like
Doing pirouettes
doing
and shit.
pirouettes and her head's like turning around and she's still like dancing. I got like full on like Jack Skeleton thing going on.
Except if Jack Skellington was a half-naked woman.
Yeah.
Wait, so it's Sally.
Oh.
A more sluttier version of Sally.
I think they already have that costume. And speaking of which, is it me or does Ash also have a bit more emotion to his character also?
Oh yeah,
When
definitely.
he kills his girlfriend, he's just heartbroken actually. Really.
Well, of course.
You can see the anguish in his face and all that.
Or the one scene that we all need to talk about.
What's that?
Ash versus his hand.
Ah, yes.
Yes.
Nothing can be more terrifying than a man versing his own hand.
I thought that was a normal thing to do, guys.
Give me back my hand.
And then he later puts like the book down.
And the book is farewell to arms on the hand. He puts it on the trash.
Farewell to arms.
Little wink, wink, nudge, nudge, say no more kind of joke, you know?
The way it was choreographed, it felt more like a.
Like a Three Stooges thing almost.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because Sam Raimi has admitted that the Three Stooges was a big influence on that.
Mm-hmm.
Including with all the slapstick stick, actually. And I have to approve of Bruce Campbell doing that because it looks like he really went for the ringer with himself doing that.
Oh
And it
yeah.
reminded me of this one Monty Python sketch where Graham Chapman was the guy that wrestled himself. That's what it kind of reminded me of. You have to wrestle with your own body, basically.
And the chainsaw to the hand that was like
Yeah.
the cherry on top.
Gotcha, you little sucker.
It's like
Who's laughing now?
Who's
laughing now?
Pretty much.
Then it's just like stained red everywhere.
Which is weird because you can clearly tell that it's just Bruce Campbell's arm in like a stump thing, pretty much.
Well, pretty much, but
It's kind of like that dude from Live and Let Die, that Bond film.
Yes,
Oh.
Teehee.
And the guy that clearly has his arm on a hook thingy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's Teehee.
Teehee.
Pretty much. That's what it kind of reminded me of.
Funny how little things amuses him.
Yeah, pretty much. But overall, I would have to say, when it comes to perfect sequels, would this kind of rank with that kind?
Well, I would say that Evil Dead is up there with the best sequels ever.
And it did lead to those other films, pretty much.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, we have to admit, without this film, we wouldn't have the Evil Dead we all know and love today.
Yeah.
So, what would you say? What, you got any final words?
I would say looking back at the film, I loved it for its cheesiness that it is and the over the top stuff, and I don't know, I don't really have much to say about it. It's just, in my opinion, a pretty good sequel.
Well, I think I can sum it up basically, we can all sum it up actually, in one word. What is that word, everyone?
Groovy.
Groovy.
And one last thing.
What's that?
Hail to the king, baby.
All hail to the king.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yes, it was. Hope you guys liked this video. If you did, hit the like button if you haven't already. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, as well as the bell with the notification. And be sure to follow us on our social media, such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're also on Discord now. It's pretty dead there at the moment, but with you guys on there, it would liven things up.
And don't forget to check out any of our other videos, and if you got any suggestions, feel free to let us know in the comments.
Absolutely.
And just stay safe out there, guys.
And one last thing, you have a good day.
All of you.
Bye.
We mean it.